What is up, everyone? Keith here, and we're going to be talking about how to gear up for raid. So let's go ahead and go to your character. So we are going to need to have some items in our stash. One way to do that is to find it in a raid, but let's say you just died. This is how your character is going to be looking. So we could go ahead and go to trading. We'll go ahead and start off with getting ourselves a gun. So we'll go ahead and do a low level or level 1 kind of build, but we're just showing how to basically buy stuff and get things in your inventory. So you have some options on the side here. Let's first pick a gun. I already know which one we're going to be picking. So we'll go ahead and pick the submachine. So this is a SMG. If you wanted to look for a specific one, so let's say you want an assault carbine, assault rifle, a bolt action rifle. If you wanted grenade launchers, which is not in the game currently, machine guns, marksman rifles, melee weapons, pistols, shotguns, SMGs, and special weapons, and then throwables. But yeah, anyways, there's that. So you go ahead and get a gun. If you have the rupees for it, which are up here, you could go ahead and purchase it. Just press fill items, press deal, and boom, now we have a gun here. You could also sell the gun, and that's how you do that. So buy, sell, and task. So if you want to very quickly, instead of dragging it over, you could just press control click and it will just go like that. And then if you, let's say you didn't want to sell this, you could go ahead and right click and it will go back. So you don't have to, you actually can't drag it back. Yeah, that's how you do that. So if you don't want to sell something, just right click and go back, control click, and that's how you very quickly sell it. And there's also a clear table, which is, let's say you did everything on here just to see like the price for some reason. See, it shows the price up there. If I put more items, it's going to go up. But let's say I was just looking at the price, I could press clear table and then it'll go back. So those are some little shortcuts that you should know. Anyways, the same principle applies here. So let's say I had a gun here for some reason, or like in my backpack, I could just press control click and it'll actually go into my inventory. So that's a fast way to be clearing out your inventory. Let's say you have a backpack full of stuff, you could go ahead and just control click everything and it will go boom. The same principle also applies when taking apart guns. So let's say you want to take off all the attachments, you just go bloop 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 bloop, and then bloop. That's how you do that. You could go ahead and drag everything back on and boom, that's how you build a gun. You may have noticed that the gun actually turned red. That when it's red like this, the gun is not functional. It's missing a key component to it. So yeah, something to be aware of. There's a lot of different items, but we won't get too deep into that. So that's how you make items go in and out of your inventory very quickly. But let's say you wanted to put it on your person. Instead, you actually press Alt, left click, and that's how it gets in your inventory. And then your control left click to get it out. So Alt, right click to get it in, control to get it out. Boom. That's how you do that. Very quick little shortcuts. And then you could drag it to your secondary if you want it there. Boom, easy. And let's say you want to discard it, you could right click and all this option is going to come up. You can press discard and press yes and it will destroy it. Or you could just go ahead and press delete. It will also say if you want to destroy it. So that's how you move stuff from your inventory very quickly. But let's say you wanted to mod this gun out a little bit. So let's go to level 1. We'll go to buy. Let's say we wanted to put a sight on it. This is a very simple way of doing it. Just put this little attachment. We won't get into modding too much, but yep, that's how you would put a sight on it. Boom. You just buy it, go back to your character, you could drag it and put it on. There's also another way that you could do it. You could open up the gun by double clicking it. So you could go ahead and press this little gear option. This is going to pop up. Once it's in your hand, there's certain things you can't take off. So it will never be red in your hands. You can't have a non-functioning weapon in your hands. Because that would just be dumb. So as you see, you can't modify this because it's in your hands. But if I move it to my backpack or whatever and I press it, now I could change these. And it's basically the same concept as before. You could take things off and change it. And then if you want to put it back on very quickly, you could just drag it. Or you could just do it again by... It'll give you all the different options on what you could put. As for example, the magazines down here. Okay. So we went ahead and bought a sight. So that goes here. And that's another way to put it on. Boom. Easy. Yeah. So there's vital parts, there's functioning parts, and there's equipment parts. You could turn it all off and just look at the gun. Boom. That's a pretty good gun. Boom. There you go. Now you have a gun. Alright. But you probably noticed that it's 0 out of 30. So there's nothing in this magazine. So if you look at the magazine, there's nothing in there. We need some ammo. So let's go ahead and buy some ammo. There's a few ways you can do this. You could go to a vendor. You can press ammo, which is the little bullets. It's going to be either in boxes or in rounds. Usually go for rounds. Next, you're going to, depending on what type of gun you're using, which I know I'm using an SMG, so it's 9x19. It varies depending on which SMG you're using, but I know this is the bullet that I need. So you could go ahead and pick up the magazine that we have is 30, so we're gonna just do that. But one also goes in the chamber, so you're gonna actually just want to buy 31, or you could just not have one in the chamber. So what you would do to fill it up, you just basically take out the magazine, which we already learned how to do that. You just drag the ammo in there. If you right click it, you can unload it. And that's how you basically load ammo. And then one is going to have to go in the chamber. So you can check if something's in the chamber by double clicking in it. The chamber, it will show down here. And you could just go ahead and put it there. And that's how you take it off. You can also just drag it on there too. Boom. Easy. So now your gun is ready. Easy. That's how you get a gun. Again, it's not really too modded, but just kind of showing how to do it. We'll get into more difficult modding a little bit later, or more advanced modding. But boom, let's say you were happy with your gun. Now we can move on to something else, like armor. Let's say you want to get a chest rig. There's a few different ways that you could do it. You can go ahead and Ragman doesn't have anything at level 1, so that's kind of a bummer. But let's say you wanted to buy something like this, you would go ahead and get a P.E.K.K.A. Boom. There's different level of armors. We'll discuss that a little bit later, but boom, now you have a body armor. Easy. Okay, let's say you wanted to buy something like a hat. Boom. Hat doesn't really protect you from anything, it's just a hat, and that's all it is. So that will take the slot of your helmets. Let's say you had a helmet. You can't have a helmet and a hat on, so it's a little bit unfortunate. So let's say I did buy one of these helmets. Let's ignore all the helmets. Let's say I bought one of the helmets. So see, the helmet actually goes there. You can't have the helmet and the hat. So the helmet or the hat is more cosmetic, but yeah, boom, now you have a helmet. You can also wear earpieces. So let's say go here, you want what, an earpiece. Boom, now you can have an earpiece, your helmet. Some helmets don't work with earpieces. That's a little bit more advanced, but that's what goes there. As for face covering, it'll just be like a little mask for the most part. Again, nothing comes from wearing a face cover. It just kind of is more cosmetic. Eyewear, you could have something like glasses. So you could just go boop. Boom. Now you have some glasses. If you wanted a pistol, you could put a pistol there. Alright, tactical rigs. Tactical rigs are basically where you're going to be keeping your magazines. So let's say we had something like this. Boom. Now we have... It also opens up more slots to put stuff. Usually this is where you put your meds or your magazines. Now let's see if we could get a backpack. So I have more things unlocked. If you're low level, you probably won't have as much unlocked, but yeah, anyways, let's say you wanted a backpack. Boom, you get a backpack, or if you had a backpack, boom, now you have a backpack. All right, and very quickly, if we go to the armband, you basically just could buy any of these colors. Let's buy a blue one. The armband doesn't really do nothing other than you have an armband around your arm. That's pretty simple. So that's that. And yeah, that's how you basically mod up or gear up for a raid. You're gonna obviously want more magazines. Other rigs are bigger than this one. This is a pretty small rig. I believe this is actually the smallest rig you can have, unless you have none. So the scav vest is the smallest rig. They get bigger along the way. You will start seeing that a little bit later. We might discuss it in a different video, but for now, we'll leave it as is. Again, there's also better armor, and bigger backpacks. This is a pretty big backpack. I think the smallest one is like a 2x3, and the biggest one is like a 6x7. I'm not sure about those dimensions, but yeah, they do get bigger. It's the same for the vest. They do get bigger. I believe the most is like 20 or something. The gamma container, we talked about that a little bit before. There is a bigger one, which is a little bit more difficult to obtain. And then if you're, depending on which edition, you also get a smaller one. So yeah, you're gonna want to try to update for that. But anyways, let's say you wanted to buy more magazines. Assuming you already know which one you need, you could just go ahead and purchase them, and you basically would do the same thing you've already done to load this one. But let's show a little bit more an advanced way to do it. So let's say you bought a gun and you don't know what magazine it takes. You're like, what magazine? Who sells this? I wonder who sells this. Well, with the flea market, we actually could do it very easily. You can press filter by item, and boom, now you have all these magazines, and you know it's the one that fits with the gun because it's already in the gun. And then you can see who actually sells it. There's different prices for them, so you're probably going to want to pick up the cheapest one. For me, I'll just buy from Pratport. You can see the merchant's name, so just go ahead and buy from him. I just need 2 more because that's how much could fit in my vest. I'll just press 2 there, and then press yes. You could also press Y, and then that also is yes. Boom. Now we have 2 additional mags. The same thing, we will want to load them up. We've already gone over that, so you can go ahead and do that. And make sure to press the X's when you're clearing your flea market search. Anyways, the last few things we should talk about is meds. So we have the basic healing. We have a band-aid, which is basically just going to stop blood loss. Healing is going to heal you back up to full health. Painkillers are going to help you. Let's say your leg was blown out and it's zeroed out. You're going to start limping. By taking a painkiller, you're going to stop limping. And it's something you're probably going to be using quite frequently. But let's say you had a fracture. on your leg or your arm, you could go ahead and use a splint. So these are basically just basic meds, and I say you buy some in the beginning. In the future, you probably will have your meds like down here, like with some other stuff, some other containers down here. But usually you probably should have some sort of healing. So yeah, in the future you're actually gonna have HP regen and also stop bleeding with some more advanced meds, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. But yeah, after that you're pretty much set to go. After you have your meds, your gun, your armor, your backpack, and your tactical rig, that's it. That's all you need to really do to get started on a match. And then you basically will just go into a match wherever you want to go, and boom, that's how you do it. So we'll get to a little bit more advanced how to do it a little bit faster. You start getting more better as you gain more experience, but learning how to mod a gun could take some time. I do have some tips on how to do that in the future, but for now, yeah, that's how you navigate through the merchants. If you wanted to do it by them, you can also do it by the flea markets. Again, if you knew the name of the gun, or if you just want to browse the weapons, you could go ahead and do so. And bada bing, bada bang. That's how you do that. I probably should talk about if you wanted to put this. You basically could just drag it down there wherever you want. You also could just tap the numbers. So let's say I wanted this to be 7, 8, 9, 0. You just tap the number you want it. Easy. So yeah, I'll try to explain more stuff in the future on different types of meds, different types of gear that you can use, what is usually what I take and stuff like that. But yeah, this was kind of a longer video, so I do apologize for that. I tried to give you everything that you need to start your first raid, so thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped in some way or form. I will hope to do more in the future and more advanced stuff. I know this was a little bit basic, but yep. So that's how you do that. And let's say you want to take everything off. Again, just control, left click, boom, easy. Alright, everything is off. And boom. That's how easy it is to put everything back on. Yep. So that's how you do that. Alright, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped out. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.